Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on your geographical location. I'm here again with the issues at hand that needs to be talked about, and where possible, continue to push for a solution, uh, a message at the end of the day that will be what consensus oriented. I believe you saw what was displayed at the beginning of this uh, broadcast. And the topic, as you can see, is that is the kind of leaders what emulating. And this was a statement made by the former Labour presidential candidate, Peter Obi, Peter Gregory Obi, I beg your pardon, and referencing Murtala Mohammed, former military governor for just about 1 year, who was assassinated during a failed coup uh, towards Aguirre. So this is the leader that the former Labour Party presidential candidate referenced when he was weighing in on the issues of the 1,411 persons that went with the president to Dubai on the COP2 conference. And so it's worth talking about and asking ourselves, including the former presidential candidate question. So I'm going to put the link on the comment section for those who want to come on the platform to weigh in on this topic. For the question that it's before us is based on what is on the screen there. Uh, Murtala Mohammed is described, according to Wikipedia. His reign was marked by both brutal repression and economic prosperity, which greatly improved the quality of life in Nigeria. For 1 year, he was a military uh, president. We can look at it from different angles, given to the fact that we don't military government. A lot of people frown against military government. However, as you can see, it's time the people, the country, what greatly improved the quality of life in Nigeria. Unlike this very moment that we are experiencing in Nigeria. Uh, you will agree with me that the quality of life in Nigeria at this very moment is nothing to write home about. So we need a leader, if that is what Peter B is saying, a leader that will be what brutal. So the word brutal, if we look at the definition of when we hear that word brutal, a lot of things, negative things fly through our mind. So we will have to now dissect it and ask several questions before we can now come to a conclusion to know that indeed, if we need a leader who is brutal, or is it the case that this is what the former Labour vice president is implying? We don't know. Is he implying that or hinting at a possible military takeover? But before we come to the question, we'll stay on this particular uh, issues in respect to his reign was marked by both brutal and repression. Remember, he came to power by coup. Now, it brings us back to another question, another statement here. When a person sells himself to destroy the best good of others, it becomes necessary to take him from the society he seeks to destroy. So at that time, Aguirre was there. Then Murtala Mohammed uh, came into power from 1975 to what? To 1970 what? To 76. Then surprisingly, his sister-in-law happens to be Ireti Kingigbe, now what, Labour Party senator, FCT Labour Party senator, the supposedly opposition party, allegedly donated up to 1 million, between 1 million to 2 million towards Senator Akpabio's forthcoming birthday, which is tomorrow. Allegedly, it's not been proven. Everybody's keeping quiet. And you know, when the rumor fly in Nigeria, there's a guarantee that that rumor is what is 100% correct when it's going to play out. So we need a leader. Is Peter Obi that this kind of a leader? Who will be what? Will be brutal. And as a result of his brutality, it will bring what? Economic prosperity, and greatly improved the quality of life in Nigeria. You will agree with me, I stand corrected, that in the present context of Nigeria, indeed, the country needs a brutal leader, someone who will what? Who will be decisive. Is he, Peter Obi, can he fit into such a shoe? From where I am sitting and looking at past record as a governor of a two-time governor of Anambra State, I doubt it. I don't think so. Because in respect to being brutal, you will be stepping on toes. To use a better word for that, let me change the word brutal, or for want of better word, I'll take away that word brutal and replace it with a single word: accountability. Does he have that wherewithal to hold past government accountable? If you've been following the news, particularly the UK news, the former Prime Minister Boris Johnson was called in recently to answer questions on how he handled the COVID crisis. That is what we call accountability. That is the leader we are looking for. Who will be brutal, who have that tenacity to hold people accountable. Can he, Peter Obi, be that person? Thank you for joining those of you in the comment section. From Anna, good evening to you as well too. Hope you are keeping well. Real K, Murtala was head of state for just 6 months. We don't know how he would have turned if he had stayed longer. But the issue here is, according to this report here, states that during his time, it was what? It was brutal. There was what? Both brutal repression and economic prosperity, which greatly improved the quality of life in Nigeria. So if he was just there for 6 months, according to the report, it's more than 6 months from 1975 to 1976, and the country experienced economic prosperity and quality of life was greatly improved, we can use that as a benchmark to say, if he had stayed longer, don't forget, have it at the back of your mind, that he was a military president or heads of state. That's what they don't call it, president. Heads of state, the number 5th president and head of state that Nigeria had. So if we are judging using that period, it was head of state as a benchmark to judge him, that means he did well. How was he brutal? And how can a civilian person comes in be brutal? The current president, we had the past president, 8 years, the country was in a bad shape. We have the current president right now, and you know the pains that Nigerians are feeling from May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. So May 29th to this very period now. Let's compare and contrast in respect to Murtala Mohammed and the present government. Your argument is it was just there for 6 months, but I just highlighted this now that they said in his time when his reign was marked by both brutal repression. I replaced that word brutal with accountability, because if we use the word brutal, we'll probably be thinking something else. But accountability. Can he, Peter Obi, who made this statement, that is the kind of leaders worth emulating in the present context of Nigeria. Can he hold people accountable? Did he do that when he was governor of Anambra State for 8 years? I stand to be corrected. From history, there is no record that anyone was held accountable for their actions. So, when are we going to get this brutal individual who can hold people accountable? The judgment just went. Everybody was fuming. Everyone was expecting for him to be brutal and lead his army in protest. But some people came out, say he's a peace-loving man. Others came out, say, let us pray for the peace of Israel. You are praying for the peace of Israel, and Israel is fighting Hamas, which is a good thing. So if it's a peace-loving man, some things cannot be achieved by just peace alone. It's called justice. Even God do not deal on peace basis alone. He also dealt on the basis of of justice. So if we're gonna get a brutal leader, who is he? Can he, Peter Obi, be that person? So that is what we are here to find out today. Back to you again, Muta. You say, well, so I finished that. Hello to you, Olaki Dollar. Hello, greetings. Good evening, Comfort Babel. Good evening to you as well, too. Let's go together. I agree, Nigeria needs a benevolent dictator. Where such a leader will come from is the challenge. I also don't think it's Peter Obi. Kudos to you and the other guys moderating. Thanks for this, your comment. I don't think so either, too. With due respect despite the fact that I cast my vote for him in February. I don't think he is that kind of a leader. He made reference to 1004, the flats that were there, which I know very well because I visited my former boss twin sister lived there. I also trained in 1004 using their lawn tennis court to train with then David Imonite, who played for Nigeria. So I know 1004 very well. He said he forfeited it because they wanted to use it to build a government or whatever it is, but it was used to build flat for civil servant. That is a good thing. That is the kind of leader we want. But would they have been able to achieve this if it was not brutal? The answer is no. Should Peter Obi get to the throne in 2027, will he be able to hold Bola Ahmed Tinubu accountable? My considered opinion, no. So where do we get such leader from? He is the opposition party, and yet some of his Labour Party senators in the House there allegedly contributed money towards Akpabio's birthday coming up tomorrow, Ireti Kingibe and others. How can such people be opposition party, for crying out loud? What are we running? Anthony Olivier, and by the way, Nigeria is ripe for a coup. Those young soldiers who ain't eating their own Tinubu bribe will step up and be counted soon. Now, there's a rumor going on that, it's a rumor that there's this tendency of the military taking over. And as such, it begs the question that is Peter Obi hinting at a possible military takeover? Now, if you listen to his vice president, Baba Datia, man, he goes by this rhetoric of military taking over, or we are better under the military. So I'm just trying to put one and two together. I don't know. We're just trying to rub minds together to know what exactly it's going on. Is it a case that there's something brewing that we don't know? We need to know, and we will find out soon. Trust me. It's not a rumor. You heard correct information. Okay, now somebody says no a rumor. All right, but until we get an official statement in that regard, however, sorry to say, we're not going to get any official statement. It only happened because it's only done in secrecy. So, and I believe the president is listening, is hearing, and he have ears on the ground. You probably change the service chief soon, and because of out of fear. But the question we need to know is this: somebody just posted, Antonio Peter B will soon be arrested if there was a coup. By the way, well, I don't know, but the question will not be: should he be invited in by the state security service for questioning, be referencing a military personnel, a military government? Because beside Murtala, where else can we? Which president? We have good governors. I can say of what of Jakonde during his time, free education. Awolowo, all these people champion free education. I benefited from free education, free books, free school. We don't pay school fees, free healthcare. These are the things that what I benefited in Nigeria then. But we're talking about the presidency now. He only referenced what? To Murtala Mohammed, a military personnel. And from this, which I say, and I agree with 100%, that his reign was marked by both brutal repression. That word is changed by what? Accountability. Can he, Peter Obi, the leader of the obedient movement, hold let's argue that he will be the president come 2027? God willing. Can he? Does he have that guts to hold anyone accountable? What he could not achieve as a governor in Anambra State, can he achieve it if should he become president? If you're joining from, please, you have to turn on your camera, except you are joining from Nigeria. Then you can indicate in the private chat that you are joining from Nigeria. Then there's exception to that effect. But if you are outside Nigeria, where the network is warning, the policy is that you have to turn on your camera. All of you on the background there, so I can see you. So if you turn on your camera, I'm going to bring you up, bring you into the platform. But if you want to indicate where you are joining from, remember, that shall not lie. So if you can indicate where you are joining from, I will bring you in onto the platform. But anyway, thanks for joining. It's appreciated. Let's see what Tracy Jacobi. I disagree with you. Obi can be that leader in a more peaceful way because, in general, Nigerians are mostly aggressive. Now, that emoji that you have there kind of defeats your argument because you're smiling. Your statement, I beg your pardon, your disagreement that Obi can be that leader in a more peaceful way because in general Nigerians are mostly aggressive. So let me take that word peaceful and add it to what? Accountability. Holding people accountable. So that's peaceful. So the question before you, Tracy Jacobi, is, in your opinion, do you think Peter Obi, the Labour Party former presidential, the opposition party and the Labour Party, the Obi movement leader can hold, should he become president 2027, can hold Bola Ahmed Tinubu accountable? That is the question I put to you. If he was unable to do it then, do you think he will do it now? Ola, you say you are joining from Nigeria. I want to believe you that is the case, so I'm going to bring you to the platform. Thank you very much for joining. And because you're joining from Nigeria, I'm going to give the floor to you. All right, so the floor is yours. Can you weigh in on what we're talking about? Thank you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. You see, Nigeria have changed heavily. You said you have free education. Maybe you might not be too far from my age. You said you experienced the good time. Let me put on from the 70s. Let's say 76, 77, 78, 79, and that was when Nigeria was actually good. When the corruption was totally reduced, when actually there was no corruption then. The highest you could build as a civil servant, even as a very rich man, might be four-bedroom bungalow. Sometimes businessmen are the one building this upstairs and everything. And we know how their money circulates, what they're doing. We could know, okay, this guy is doing this guy is making his money. This guy is doing this is making money. Nigeria changed right from when Obasanjo handed over power to Shehu Shagari. Why I'm saying this is, I'm trying to give a very brief history. When Obasanjo handed over to Shehu Shagari might not be corrupt, but the people that came during that MPN and UPN, whatever they called themselves at that time, they were over confident of themselves, they owned Nigeria at that time. That leads to a typical nasty corruption that happened during that time that brought Ubuhari to power and Idiagbo in 1983. If you understand at that time, it is also similar to what you see now in Nigeria. It's no difference. It's similar. What were they doing then? They were borrowing, they were being corrupt heavily, but not as what you see now, but they were heavily corrupt. Umar Diko was channeling money to England. Even some parliamentarians were even hiding money on the water tanker.
Okay, let me ask you this, sir. Do you think Peter Gregory Obi can hold any past leader accountable?
Not at all. Peter Obi is a politician. In politics, there's a D strike. Look, you as a politician can never achieve power alone. You have to achieve power with others that can maybe brought you in or bring you in into that power. So there's a D, it's a bargaining. Because look, we don't have the institutions, we don't have the institution that can supervise or guide a nation like doing United States is or other Western European countries. We have very weak institutions. The judiciary, with the foundation of any country is the judiciary, which is that interpret the law, the constitution of the land.
I can agree with you 100% in terms of our institution, primarily to me the legislative hand, which I've always been talking, which happens to be the greatest enemy of Nigerian democracy.
Thank you.
Go ahead, sir. Thank you very much. Continue,
so what you see now, what happened in 1982 is now we're seeing now that repeating himself again. It didn't just start now, it started during Obasanjo time. So if we start blaming how this problem come about, what we see now in Nigeria is playing out, it started during Obasanjo time. When Obasanjo came in, you have to understand, Obasanjo see it as a zero-sum game. He was even trying to lobby for third term. Bag of money was being exchanged inside that Senate, inside all these things. It was all money politics. The people that brought Obasanjo also control the Nigeria oil wells. Only what you see now that different type of people now in the same people, not but the same people, but with different name. There with other ones that came in to join those old ones. You
Thank
think
you very much.
you think
Uh,
Tinubu did during the election in
I
Finland?
put them as recycled human beings, as far as I am concerned. They've recycled themselves over time, and that's why, with due respect, they're as useless as any other thing. I'll come back to you, Mr. Ola and Mr. Blackson. I just need to take some more comments, then I'll come back to you. Tracy Jacobi, you've not answered my question. You said you disagree, and I asked you a question. You said that divide Nigeria now without violence. Other nations are moving forward while Nigeria is moving backward with the best and brightest from Yoruba. If you're going to divide the country, like we said, our institutions are weak, we have to make that institution strong. If you want to go your separate ways, like I've always been saying, make a representation to your legislators where they are. Then they can bring it up in the House. And nobody has ever raised any bill in that regard. So we will keep shouting, but our problem lies with us and with our institution, primarily the legislative arm. They are the greatest threat to our democracy. Back again, Peter B is a pacific kind of guy. Well, explain what you mean by pacific. There is an equal parable when foul yarn smell, the wind will blow for all to smell. Agreed on that one. I'm smiling at the aggression because I am one. All right. Again to you, Benson or PO. If you and your family and those surrounded are not still in corruption, then you reduce it to 70% accountability. Thank you for that, Benson. But the question is not me and my family not stealing. The question is, in the context of Nigeria, I highlighted that recently, in the last few days, Boris Johnson, the former Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, was called into questioning on how he handled the COVID period, what he did during that time, text messages, where he said let the COVID rip through the society and everything. Can we have a leader, or can Peter Obi, is he that kind of a leader that can hold, for example, Bola Ahmed Tinubu accountable? Should he, Peter Obi, get to power, given to the scrupulous spending, the unnecessary, the lavish money being spent? Can he? That is the question. Mr. Lars weigh in on it and say, no, he cannot. He's not that kind of a person. You know why? Judging from past experience as governor of Anambra State for 8 years, I stand corrected. He never held anyone accountable. Of course, he did not steal. Of course, 70% no corruption about him. But there was a corruption there. Did he hold anyone accountable? Because that's what we're looking for. I highlighted something earlier. I'll come back to you again. Take a look at this. Says consensus oriented. Good governance is consensus oriented, accountable, transparent, responsive. The one down there is effective, follows the rule of law, participatory. That is good governance. Who did he hold accountable when he become president? Is it going to be the same story? Let everything go. Nobody's being held accountable. You heard the recent thing that happened where they said it was a mistake. They dropped a drone in one state, one town that killed 85 people. Who is going to be held accountable? Is anyone going to be held accountable? That is what we are talking about. Mr. Blackstone, welcome on stage. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you. Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon from where, depending on your location. Thank you, Mr. Electricity. Yeah, the topic is very it's quite interesting, and we have to know if you want to really dive into this issue of accountability, holding people accountable for what they did in government. Let us try to understand it from the principles of Nigeria. right? There's a common saying that in Nigeria, we go to government and say, don't step on people's toes. Who are the people that you're not going to step on their toes? Are they the people that rule or the people that owns Nigeria or things like that? Or they are let me just give one example. The former governor of Delta State, Ibori, after serving his jail terms in the UK, he came back to Nigeria, and I think EFCC wanted to try him, right? Do you know the response from these people? They said it is our son. We will protect him, right? So that is where the problem of accountability, all the people accountable for what they did, that's where it begins from. The impossibility of holding some people who tends to have some power, right? The citizens support these people who have robbed them, these people who have impoverished them, the citizens, the elites and all tends to go behind them and support them and prevent.
Mr. Blackstone, in your opinion, do you think, because regardless, we still need a leader as described by the man himself? That is the kind of leaders who was emulating, referencing Murtala Mohammed. During his time, it was both brutal and repression. But so, do you think Peter Obi can hold, let's, for argument's sake, he becomes president of Nigeria in 2027? Can he hold Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Akpabio, and every other person accountable? Do you think he can do? His government, not just him, his government will be able to hold anyone accountable?
Okay.
Don't be afraid. I know you are an obedient person. Please.
No, I'm not afraid.
Be truthful. For once in your life, Mr. Blackstone, be truthful, please.
No, I'm not afraid. When during the campaign, actually, Peter Obi said he's not going to go back pursuing those that were those in the past government, pursuing them, spending time and energy pursuing those people and so on and so forth. Even during his campaign, he never said was going to go to probe or go hold anybody accountable. The previous president or leaders who were involved in the government, who were corrupt and so on and so forth. He never said he was going to probe them or go to hold them accountable. So LB have made that know that he will not be able to hold these people accountable.
So for him saying that, given to the fact that he's now saying that, referencing Murtala Mohammed, and according to what I highlighted, I'm going to highlight it again, which states here that Murtala Mohammed, GCFR 1975 to 1976, his reign was marked by both brutal repression and economic prosperity, which greatly improved the quality of life in Nigeria. Now, we understand that Murtala is a military person, so there's a great fear, a level of fear among people. But if we cannot hold past leaders accountable, how do you think Peter Obi can then be a leader worth emulating?
No, electricity, right? I don't think Obi is too gentle to be able to hold any past president or any past leaders accountable. It has never happened in Nigeria. I don't think it's that will start it, right? And I've not seen anybody who were the presidential candidates in last election who will be able to hold any pastors accountable. I don't see it in the present Nigeria. People who are vying for that office as a president. Maybe one of them could be Showore and this other guy, the former aide to Abacha, Mustafa. So maybe I can say maybe two of those ones can be able to do it because they are not afraid of anybody. Shomole can do it because he's always talking about it, but not Peter Obi. That is quite sure. That's clear. Peter Obi cannot do it. But Obi will try to fight corruption, but not to hold the people accountable. Not to hold
How is it possible to fight corruption without holding people accountable? How is that possible?
Yeah,
Mr. Ola, can you weigh in on that for me, please? Mr. Blackstone, I'll come back to you. How is it possible to fight corruption and not hold anyone accountable? How is that possible? In which world does that happen? Is that going to happen? You're in Germany, Mr. Blackstone. How is it possible to fight corruption and not hold anyone accountable? You muted, Mr. Black. Mr. Ola, you're not there again, so I'll put you on backstage. When you come back, just indicate for me in the private section. Mr. You're muted, Blackstone. Mr. Blackstone, you're muted, please. Mr. Blacks, okay. I think he's on the phone. We are going to set a policy whereby when we are doing broadcasts, people will not be on the phone again. Anyway, I'll take the next comment. Hold on, Mr. Blackstone. I'll take the next. Let me go on the comment section.
No,
we need to bring somebody.
No, I was inviting somebody. I was about to join the show.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Just give me. I'll come back to you. Let me just take some comments. But I'll come back to your statement. Or the question I put to you: how is it possible to have a good government to fight corruption? I beg your pardon, without holding anyone accountable. So, how are you going to fight the corruption? We'll come back. We'll come back on that. But I need to take some comment. With a corrupt INEC judiciary and so many Nigerians willing to accept, right? How can decent man like Peter Obi become president? Well, he can become president after all. If he can't, then is he hinting on the military, possible military takeover? I'll bring you back in, Mr. Ola, but you're back in. I just need to take some of these comments. I liked them and weighing on it. About those who always talk nonsense about Obi. Well, we're talking, the black police don't talk about religion. Don't ignore that, please, Mr. Blackstone. Obi did not probe his predecessor as Anambra governor. He signed into law the obnoxious retirement package for ex-governor, although he claimed not to receive such. So, Mr. Blackstone, they are highlighting what you're saying. How can you fight corruption without holding anyone accountable? Remember, the focus is on the man Peter Obi. He is what he said going forward. We are the opposition party. Allegedly, one of the opposition parties senator, is named to have contributed between 1 million to 2 million naira to Akpabio's birthday party that is going to happen tomorrow. Allegedly. But in Nigerian case, nothing is allegedly. Before Obi is given this presidency, it will be when the country is in the genuine comatose. So it will be in a damn if you do. Damn if you don't situation. He needs to enjoy his retirement. Anyway, thank you for that. If you can do, Nigeria is either a clean coup or a dirty revolution. Anyone thinking that this demonic APC party can be removed through an election must be joking. Now, if they can do, pardon me if I am not pronouncing your name properly. Forgive me. Let me throw a question to you. Then you can, based on this your comment that says Nigeria is either a clean coup or a dirty revolution. Anyone thinking that this demonic APC party can be removed through an election must be joking. So, is it the case that Peter Obi is hinting at a possible military takeover? That question is to you. What's your name again? Ike. Sorry, I did not pronounce your name very well. Let me drag it back again. Let me bring that question. Let me bring your comment up back again. Where are thou? Let's see. I'm gonna find you.
Political platform.
Welcome for joining. I will come to you guys on the platform. I will come to you. I just need to take comment. Remember, my comment section people are also part of our family, and we cannot ignore them. They keep us going. They are also important to us. So I think I lost that. Okay, I think it's this one. Ex-governor not this one. Before Bill's giving the presidency, yes, this the next one. Nandi Feka. So I posted a question to you. So Nandi, I hope you're going to answer it. This one, Agbado supporter. Okay. Everybody's entitled to support who they want to. Obi Hadarani, corrupt people like Dunyo Kukwe, Akin Shintokon, Pastor Prenius, and that general, and then that justified the Lekki massacre and this and that. So, Arise TV, I don't know what that means. Anyway, I'll take this last comment, then I'll come to you, platform. We'll start from Mr. Ola, then Blackstone, then Righteous Man, then American First Rifle. The question is, to those of you on the beside the comment, Mr. Blackstone said something. Is it possible to what? To fight corruption without holding anyone accountable? And is Peter Obi, the former Labour Party presidential candidate, going forward, quote and unquote, we are now the opposition party? Do you think he can hold anyone? For the argument's sake, he becomes president in 2027. Can he hold Bola Ahmed Tinubu's government?
Bro, nothing.
So, Ola, the floor is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, look, Obi can pretend to be whatever to be. Let's be honest. I don't trust politicians. I've never actually trusted them. You see, this democracy, when I saw democracy for the first time, that time, I'm not going to lie to you, I was very, very disappointed. You have to start, I was a very young man at that time, a young man that was in high school when he came to power. Not exactly when he came to power, I was in the elementary school, but when they throw him out, I was about to go to high school. So if you have to check these people in power, there's nothing, none of them can do to hold anybody accountable in power. You see, let's just be honest. Peter Obi was the former governor of Anambra State. What have actually Peter Obi done there? What was he? Did he went back to check past governors? You have to say the corruption in Nigeria starts from these state governors first. They're like the emperors of this state. They are far more corrupt than any other politicians in Nigeria. The state governor, the local government, they come the Senate and these other bodies that are there now. So what have Peter Obi done for the past? Nothing. We understand he might not be corrupt. Nigeria good intel. Peter Obi is not going to do nothing. You see, Nigeria naturally, even themselves have a problem. If Nigeria, look, you vote in or you allow certain people to because they are like you. You understand me? They are like you. Do you remember way back? That's what when I brought Obasanjo into this, most people think, why Obasanjo? The Obasanjo dismantled most of the fabrics that was holding this country to in a way to checkmate them, neither by studio union government, but bodies or by strong forces that was there at that time. What did he do? He declined or he reduced the spending of the defense of that country because he was scared himself that Nigerian army is notoriously good in bad governments. Then some of these generals now become generals of shopping mall or building shopping mall, building mansions, but not generals that can defend the country. That is started the Jonathan time when this group of Boko Haram now show their teeth that the Nigerian military was very powerless at that time. So what did they do? They start bringing in some stupid private universities. This private university, in short, dilute this federal university that can protest for bad governance. For them, I understand during my time when we protest against Abacha, people was being shot, people was being killed, but we were on the streets fighting for good government. But what happens ones that brought in now? What we're seeing now is that Nigeria have now valued to be beggars, to be slaves. Babake, you see a Nigerian man bowing down for local government chairman that stole their money. Now the governor, everybody say, oh, don't try by doing road. You are you not in the overseas? Is no road not being done by government even there? Road is being done every time, every day. Because that is the taxpayers' money. You see what you're doing with your taxpayer. Garbage is being picked because you be seeing what's being done with your money every time. You have good health care. Are you not seeing it? But in Nigeria, a man that do maybe a road, a bridge with your own state money, you will be hailing him. Ah, he tried. During that was during the military time, we were talking about free education. Yes, when free education was going on, you didn't say Nigeria, say, oh, this governor tried. Oh, that governor tried to start praising them. When buses were being placed as buses at that time, whereby if you want to travel, you take your state transport system. Do you see at that time Nigeria say, oh, you try at that time? But when now come, this is started during the Shagari regime, whereby you started praising this, you start praising this corrupt people. Oh, you don't try by doing road. Look, I was having an uncle. My uncle at that time was that's MPN at that time. That man destroyed our street with his bulldozer. He did nothing, but he did something. Very corrupt man. Uncle, very corrupt. Very corrupt. You know, at that time. How old is him now? The man is almost 90 something years old. They saying what they already manifested, what they plant. So to save Nigeria, because Nigeria have already gone deep into corruption. Even for you to believe, even in Nigeria, just somebody speak, you believe him. Nigeria, there's no truth anymore in their mouth. You be seeing blue, somebody tell you say no, not red.
Okay, I'll come back to you, Mr. Ola. Let me quickly assert this question on the screen. The electricity, don't you see the budget to scrutinize? First and foremost, my boss, Dr. Professor Rudolph Okonkwo, is good with figures. Those are his field. Then my colleague, forefathers, and sure, they are good with budgets, okay? Everybody has their field. But no matter how we scrutinize the budget, the word scrutinizing, it is neither here or there, because the reason why being that the legislators that are supposed to kick against this budget sign it off. And like what Mr. Ola rightly said, which I've all been saying, the problem lies with the citizens, what we have failed to do what we ought to do. Now, Mr. Blackstone, you are going to answer this question briefly so that I can go to Righteous Man, because you are going to be here all day. The question that came out of your statement is it possible to fight corruption without holding anyone accountable? Yes, no, or refuse to answer the question?
Mr. Electricity, it didn't let me finish my chain of my line of thought when I was talking.
Okay. Go ahead.
The truth is that, right? Nigeria is in the environment. Nigeria is a place whereby let me put it like this. Before you start fighting people you know that you cannot win, you have to put structures on the ground. Like a boss are going to go and fight, right? It's not training. You're going to go there and fail woefully. So if anybody goes to the government as well to fight or hold somebody accountable before him, without putting the right structure that will make him succeed in that fight, it's going to fail. What are these right structures? Let me tell you what are these right structures. The foundation of, first of all, fighting corruption is the civil service. The civil service. If the civil service, like I always say in this platform, if the executive and the judiciary are corrupt, that country is dead. That is what we have in Nigeria. So the civil servants are the most corrupt people in Nigeria. So first of all, before you start fighting those only people accountable, you have to first of all fix the civil service. You have to put
So, Mr. Blackstone, the executive, the legislative, the judiciary, and and other, they are all civil servants. If they just give them a name, they're all civil servants.
Yeah, that I'm saying. That's civil servant.
So, if he's going to fight, if he's going to, first of all, if they are going to deal with the civil servant, is that not holding them accountable? I don't understand.
Yeah, no, that's saying right. Let me explain what I'm trying to put in place.
Okay, please explain.
The executive and the judiciary, let me say they have a higher class of civil servants. Right? Okay, let me put it like this. You take a case to court, and if you are able to buy the judge, you win that case. Right? But if you put structures on the ground that have a very good check and balances.
And who perform checks and balance on the executives?
The legislature.
Good. And right? who perform checks and balance on the legislators?
The citizens.
So we have to
go back to from my beginning. My initial point. I gave an example of Iburi. Right? So if the citizens can back up Iburi and say, this is our son, you cannot touch him. So are they going to put that pressure or check on the
but that is what we are trying to say, or that is what I am saying.
So what I'm trying to say
be that leader that he described himself, that we've had good leaders in this country worth emulating, and he referenced Murtala Mohammed. And from what I highlighted here,
let me finish. I
will come back to you, Mr. Blackstone.
Let me finish. Let me just finish this stuff.
Okay, go ahead. Finish. Right?
So where I said that if you put the actual check and balances, infrastructure, ways to check corruption in the civil service, and also on the citizens, you'll be able to go back and fight the previous one. I know that accountable, because when you do it, you'll be having the support. Everybody then will to support you that you are doing the right thing. You just make a reference to the UK, Boris Johnson. Everybody just that as he was called, come and give an account what you did in COVID. And the citizens go, no, why are you persecuting him? Why are you holding? It's about people. With that work. Because that structure be put there, that chicken be put there, and know that they are fighting for their sake. So that's what I'm trying to say, that before you start doing anything, there must be strategy. You can't jump into a hot water and expect to get cold water from inside. It's not possible.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Blackstone. Before I come to you, Mr. Righteous Man, let me just take one or two comments, then I'll come to you. Electricity, I don't know why it's Obi always. Obi is not my problem. Listen, if we're going to get things right, then we have to get things right. If I cannot criticize, don't let me use the word criticize, if I cannot hold my own person accountable or talk about my own person, then it's as useless as it's better we just call it a day and go and sleep. He is the leader of, is the favorite of people. But in respect of holding people accountable, he made that statement. And it's not a bad statement either. Did he hold anybody accountable? Because we need someone who can hold others accountable, past government accountable, while we forge on while we deal with the present and the future. And if he cannot, then he is not that leader. I am sorry to say, because why? It is the reality of things. So we cannot pretend and say, oh, because this is this and this is this. Thank you. Electricity scrutinizing the policy not to be let Obi breathe. Stop your lies and propaganda. Obi is breathing. If he's watching, he'll probably be saying, I mean, he will be agreeing with me, and I can bet you on that. If you can give me evidence that he has held anyone accountable, it's a good, listen, let me highlight this thing back again for you, because it appears that you are not getting what I am saying. I'll bring this back again for you. Good governance, consensus-oriented, accountable, transparent, responsive, effective, follows the rule of law, participatory, accountable. The question is, can he hold anyone accountable? That is where we are today. So I scrutinize, I mean, the case of Tinubu is an obvious matter. Who is this? Comfortable? I doubt he won't, because he's too soft. Oh, what a lovely man he is. Most women are looking for soft men anyway, not hard men like Blackstone or righteous men. And this is talking about holding this government accountable. That means you don't really understand Nigeria's situation. I do understand Nigeria's situation. And if we are to turn the situation around, that is what I am saying, and I stand on it, that we must start to hold each other accountable. That is the leader we are looking for, though not in a military uniform. Let's agree on that. In a civilian what? In a civilian pattern, not in a military uniform.
Electricity. This comment from Unandi is one of the Nigerian problems, the Nigerian people problem, because they always say they don't understand the reality of Nigeria. Nigeria is not a unique country.
No, they think Nigeria is from a different planet. Yes. It's the same place.
So anyway, that is it.
Righteous man, Steph, I don't know where you are joining from. You have to turn your camera on, then I'll bring you back onto the platform. Except you are joining from Nigeria, thou shalt not lie, indicate in the private chat. Righteous man, the floor is yours. Righteous man is frozen. Okay, Nigeria has happened to righteous man. Until he comes back, we'll get to him. So I'll take a comment. Murtala Mohammed was not repressive from my point of view. Okay, from your point of view, he is not repressive. However,
I'm not.
Righteous man, we cannot hear you. If you can hear.
Talking.
Yeah, we know you're talking about. Righteous man, sign out and sign in back again if you are hearing me. All right.
He can turn his video off.
Loud and clear.
Yeah, but I can't hear you. We can't hear you. Yes, you can hear me, but we can't hear you. It's a two-way traffic. All right. So Mohammed was
Nigeria said they're having 5G, but the network is going worse.
Okay. I think righteous man is using a passenger network, so okay. we'll forgive him. We'll forgive him. Steph, you need to indicate where you're joining from, please. I'll turn on your camera, then I'll bring you onto the platform. That is the policy. Except you are joining from Nigeria, we'll make an exception, but you have to be honest. Righteous man, your network is not great, and I understand it has. I mean, you're always a regular person here, which your network is always good, and it's sad to see that your network is not working properly. If you can sign out and sign in back again, or change location, you know the way we do it. Either you go on top of the tree or upstairs, or I think you are under the ground. Just go on top of the tree or upstairs, then you will get a better network. That is Nigeria for us. Let's take it as it is. Who is the electricity? You're upset with Toby. I remember you never supported him at last election. That is incorrect. I can show you my PVC and I can tell you where everything I did vote. So with due respect, that is incorrect. Let the record reflect that Inadi Fekenadu just made an incorrect statement without even verifying, unfortunately. Thank you very much. Mr. Monitor, please be realistic. Nigerians don't have that level of political awareness and tribal cohesion. Accountability will devolve into tribal fight. That is incorrect. Accountability will not dissolve. It will not dissolve into what? Into tribal fight. That is also incorrect. If we want to get it right, we have to get it what? We have to get it. Alternatives, I have a good topic for you. What kind of society allows thieves, drugs lords, and murderers to manage their affair? The society that allows that is Nigeria in the context of what we're talking about. And it is you and I that allows it. This society that allows that is what? It's Nigeria in the context of Nigeria. And it is the citizens, because the citizens failed in their duty to carry out their civic duty, particularly even the Christians who withdraw themselves from politics, even when their God or the God that created them says they should be part of reform, allows such to take place. Do not blame anybody. You and I are the one that allows it. And it is a good topic, and I've already weighed in on it. Righteous man, I guess you're back. I don't think so. If you're back, the floor is yours. Thank you very much.
Electricity, good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yeah, Blackstone, good evening.
Good evening, Electricity.
No, it's me. It's Righteous Man. It's...
Righteous Man.
How you doing?
Mr. Righteous Man, the question is, is Peter Obi, whatever it is, can Peter Obi hold anyone accountable? Let me put it this way. Should he become president in 2027, can he hold Bola Ahmed Tinubu government accountable? Because this statement came on the background of the 1,401 delegates that went with the president to Dubai. He also weighed in on the issue of the money allocated to the office of the wife of the president. He also weighed in on the issue of the Jeep, but excuse the Labour Party senators when they said it's an official car for them. Allegedly, Ireti Kingigbe, sister-in-law to Murtala Mohammed, allegedly contributed 1 to 2 million naira into Akpabio's birthday party fund. That is Labour Party. Is this the kind of opposition body that will save us? The floor is yours.
Well, Electricity, once again, personally, I believe that until we have a sovereign national conference, until Nigerians comes together to agree on and how to rule this country, no Igbo man will ever be the president of Nigeria.
Mr. Righteous Man, with due respect, I have a policy here. I don't do tribal anything discussion. We're talking about Nigeria. With due respect to your contribution, which we have always have great respect for, I don't do who is going to be president of Nigeria. It makes no difference to anything. As long as the people are suffering, it makes no difference who is the president. Let's focus on what is on ground. I'm not talking about Peter Obi because it's an Igbo man, or talking about Tinubu because it's a Yoruba man. I don't allow tribal. If you can go to forefathers, entertain it. Rudolph entertain it. Other moderators entertain it. But I don't, because it has never taken us anywhere. Can you please focus on the topic and the question asked? I'm not asking this question because Peter Obi is an Igbo man. With due respect. So I yield the floor back to you. Thank you.
Okay. Electricity. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. So, I have a little historical fact about Peter Obi when he was the governor. Peter Obi. Hello?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
Okay.
You are using two network. I'm seeing you are using two phones, if I'm correct. You are there.
No, I'm using only one phone.
Okay, so I think I'm seeing okay, keep talking, keep talking.
Okay. So when he was the governor, he made sure that the cost of governance was reduced, and those channels that people use in looting the treasury of the state was blocked. He also dealt with crime such as kidnapping. He made sure that anyone that was found guilty of kidnapping will lose whatever that person have acquired through the process of kidnapping. And Anambra was a hot zone of kidnapping during the time he was governor. Until he took that decision, the House passed it into law. Once you're a kidnapper and convicted, your house, the building, whatever that belongs to you will be brought down, and then the land taken over by the state government. Immediately he started that, all the kidnappers in Anambra State relocated. Peter Obi brought Anambra State from number 27 in educational chart in Nigeria to number 1. He also won several awards in developmental index. He also made sure that pensioners were paid. So Obi is this disciplined businessman. He's not a career politician. He came to redeem Nigeria. But it's just unfortunate that those of us that are in abroad there, we blackmail his person, giving him names that he didn't do anything in Anambra State. And that is a blatant lie. If he did not, there is no way he will have this massive support. All the things he said, go and verify. Nobody has ever come out to contradict him.
Okay,
The APC government...
Mr. Righteous Man, that is not the bone of contention that we are arguing. It was highlighted. I think one of the comments, those in the comment section, highlighted that is in terms of his credibility and everything. But the bone of contention is this: who was held accountable during? If you look at what is being highlighted on the screen there, it is therefore observed to believe that leaders have the right to govern and not the right to use the necessary means to carry on good government. Now, the question is, did he hold anyone accountable? Can he hold Bola Ahmed Tinubu, because he is the opposition leader? He is criticizing, and Shetima has replied him. Can he hold Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his government accountable should he get to power in 2027?
In 2027, if Nigerians decide to remove APC and probably we have Peter Obi as president, he will hold APC Tinubu regime accountable for whatever they mismanage during their period. I can assure you that.
Thank you. I mean, that's as simple as ABC. Now, if you say he can hold them accountable, okay, and according to one of my our comment section, according to what I've been arguing, it was governor of Anambra State for 8 years. Can you said you have a bit of information? If you don't have the information, just say you don't have the information. Was anyone held accountable during his tenure in that 8-year tenure in Anambra State?
Yes, I did. I told you that I have a little historical facts of him during the time he was the governor of Anambra State. What was the reason behind his impeachment? He was impeached because he refused to partake in corruption, and then he dealt those who added the budget of executing a project. He dealt with them, he removed them, and then the House turned against him and impeached him. He went to the court, and court reinstated him that impeachment was not right.
Okay, Mr. Righteous Man, you said, and I quote you, he refused to participate in corruption. He removed those who, how is it possible for him to remove?
Padded the budget for the project.
Come again?
You know, there was a project that was to be executed.
Okay.
They gave the state a deal of almost 1 billion naira.
Okay.
And he rejected it, that budget was padded, that he cannot sign it.
Okay.
He now decided to execute that budget from almost 1 billion. He spent 400 and something million to execute that project.
I heard that story. No, the question now to you is, corruption was presented to him, and he refused to participate in that corruption. Nevertheless, he did not hold them accountable, because that would not be the first one.
He removed them from office. And that was the reason why the House impeached him, because the House were participants of that criminal act of padding the budget.
You said the House, which is the legislative hand, was part of what? Padding the budget. And what happened to them?
He has no power. He has no power to remove them.
Mr. Righteous Man.
Yes.
Frozen again. Goodness me, this discussion.
No, it's on. It's on. I can hear him. No, it's on full screen. I think on full screen.
Come again.
I think I was hearing him, so I think
we've lost him. I don't know. Come back. Mr. Righteous Man, you need to come back, please. It's becoming interesting. I love this question and answer section. Mr. Blackstone, I'll come back to you. Steph, you've not indicated whether you are joining from Nigeria or where you are joining from. Or you're probably busy. Somebody said, electricity, please don't put people in trouble with that kind of question, I beg. Listen, you're not putting nobody in trouble. The man announced himself. Listen, let's be realistic here. This is my problem with us Nigerians. The man himself announced that he is what? Going forward, quote and unquote, is now the opposition party. He said the Labour Party and the Obedient Movement are what? The opposition party. The Labour Party in the UK, Kestama, if you go to the P&Q question there, they challenge the Prime Minister. They challenge everybody. So, I ain't putting nobody in trouble. I am only quoting what he said, and I'm asking questions. And because we don't like asking questions in Nigeria, we don't like seeking clarification, we are where we are today. We get angry whenever I ask somebody a question, they get angry. Who are you to ask me a question? And who are you that I cannot ask question? This is our problem. And we want to speak the truth. How can you speak the truth? How can you uphold the truth if you don't ask questions? Is anyone above asking questions? I ask God questions. So if I can ask God questions, I can ask anybody question. That's what it's called, question. So if he feels he's going to get in trouble, then he better shut his mouth and go back home and sleep. But if he's going to be the opposition leader, he's going to speak, and people will pick on what is spoken, and we're going to analyze it. That is what is called good politics. So if Ruben Abati takes it up, or any other party takes it up, we did say the same thing. No, nobody's above questioning. So I'm going to question me, I'll question you. That is how the life works. Thank you very much. Tracy Jacob, this is all I want to be Godfather. Just, okay. I'm going to skip some comments. Nigeria's geopolitics will never allow a president to checkmate previous corrupt politician. We are not there yet. And if Obi tells you he can, he is lying. I kind of tend to agree with that. Righteous Man, you're back. We lost you. Thank God you found you back. Go ahead.
Yeah. What I was saying is that if Obi, the power that be, or if the Nigerian people decide to say no.
Hold on 1 second, Mr. Righteous Man. I'll come back to you. I just highlighted a comment which I would like to weigh. Sorry for that. My sincere apology. Electricity, for me, the moment Peter Obi was not able to defend the people's mandate, is finished for him. Mr. Righteous Man Blackstone, take a quick read at this comment here. A quick read, because I want to highlight something else. The moment he was unable to defend the people's mandates, he is finished. And yet, Murtala Mohammed is described as what? As both brutal and repression and economic prosperity, which greatly improved the quality of life in Nigeria. For the fact that he was unable to defend even a peaceful protest, to what? Either to Aso Rock, to the chambers, to galvanize his army, as described by Dele Faro to me, that he has been able to build an army or raise an army that are willing to lay down their life for the truth. I agree with that comment. The floor is yours, man.
Yeah, I agree with the person who made that comment. I agree with him. I agree with him totally. We have to be factual this time, and we don't need to allow our emotion run over truth. You see, myself personally, Obi disappointed me. Obi failed to galvanize. In fact, I have counted Obi as in the likes of the other former president, Jonathan, because it's Jonathan that threw us into this confusion. Because if Obi, the Nigerian masses stood up for him, if he had galvanized the opportunity, I think things would have changed. All these things that the House, the presidency are doing today without remorse, they wouldn't have done it. He failed. And for me, I don't think he has any chance for 2027. I wouldn't even ask him to come out 2027. He doesn't have the balls. He doesn't have the stamina, He doesn't have what it takes to carry people along. That's too motive. He has a good record, but he is not charismatic. He's not that charismatic leader that we move. He has a good record, but there is something that is in a leader that people are looking for. Just like the late President Nelson Mandela. He was ready to face the bullet, to go to prison for the emancipation of the black in South Africa. The same thing with Nnamdi Kanu. He faced the Nigerian nation, he faced the British nation, he faced the whole world. He said the truth, damning the consequences of whatever it will resort to. So these are the kind of leaders we want. The leaders that we come out and take the bullet for the people, because the people were ready to lay their life for him, for the cause they believe in. So I agree with that person who made that comment. It's a genuine comment. It's not biased. It's right. Obi is not charismatic leader. Obi is not a motivator. He's a good man, but he doesn't have that charisma. I agree with him. Yes.
Thank you very much for that. We are getting somewhere. So this is becoming interesting. Mr. Blackstone, let me give the floor to you before you cut my head off. Go ahead. Thank you, Mr. Righteous Man, for that. I really appreciate that. So go ahead, Mr. Blackstone.
Remember that our last program, I made a reference to that issue. That when, after the election and INEC declared Tinubu as president, that was the moment that Nigeria would have stood up. But I said somebody killed that fire, which was Peter Obi, because he told them, don't worry, I believe in the due process, we go to court. I concur with Righteous Man. Peter Obi, for me, is too gentle to be to be Nigerian president who can change anything. That's just that. If he's elected as a president, it will not be able. It can put programs in place. One thing is this: putting program in place, it works when you are there during your term in office. After you leave there, what happens? Look at Anambra. When he left there, what happens? Right? So a good leader will set an agenda for years, a program. It's like cemented its own vision for years. Obi is not such a leader. Obi is not aggressive. Obi is not it cannot, like Alison said, it cannot stand to face the so-called the owner of Nigeria. He cannot be able to do that. The guy that come is completely correct, because the Obi is not charismatic. It's not so charismatic, and it's not aggressive. So there's something is being said in the security. He said you train your police according to the nature of your country. Nigerians are people who are stubborn, who like to do things the way they feel, in fact, who do not like the law. So how are you going to deal with them? People do not like the law. So you have to be hard to be able to force them to obey the law and abide by the law. So that's why the military terms, like people like Idi Agbon, Murtala Mohammed, that's why they were successful, because they were hard on the people. We're trying to retrain the people that you have to abide by the law. Time of Idi Agbon, we know what happened. You can't beat the queue.
I remember that time. They're not born you were, maybe jump the queue. They're not born you were, join the queue.
So every country.
Sorry, Blackstone. Let me just read this. You continue when I read it. The UK is currently investigating Boris Johnson. America is currently investigating Donald Trump. Did you hear that both UK and US is shut down just to hold these past leaders accountable? No, which is 100% correct. The country will be shut down if the country moves on. But people have been held accountable. Go ahead, Mr. Blackstone.
What is the difference? Like I said before, they have this institution placed. They have this check and balances already there. So whenever they are shot, if people are put into investigating them, it will not affect the country moving on, because they believe that these people are fighting for them. The citizens believe that they are fighting for them. They know that you are not above the law. Nobody is above the law. So as long as the course of the law is taking place, nobody will come and say we have to shut down the country. No, but in Nigeria, people are above the law. Okay, let me just tell you something. What happened just this week here? The first daughter of Tinubu was invited to an occasion in Abuja. If you see the way they were praising her, the Oloja of Nigeria, the first daughter of the country. So these are the problem we have in Nigeria, because we tend to praise those we think that we can get something from. So why must she be called the first daughter of the country? Then it's the first daughter of the country. Why must she now be called the Oloja of Nigeria? What has she done in the market? How has she improved the markets in Nigeria? What are the innovations she's coming here, bringing into this market? So these are the problem. When we begin to praise what is wrong, we will never get what is right. You understand? So Peter Obi is not that person that will be so drastic in taking action to change Nigeria. He can rule and say, okay, the economy was good and it's time. He put on policies and everything. But if he lives there, what happened? Everything reverts back. It will go worse than how he met it. So this is the problem. So we need a leader who will stand his feet. Like I always say, when they say they step on people's toe, I said no, don't step on people's toe. Have a shoe with iron sole, with nails. So you need to step on their toe that they will feel the pains. You understand me? So if we want to change Nigeria, we must have a die-hard leader that doesn't fear nobody, doesn't have no respect for anybody, but they have respect for the law. As long as the law is being implemented, Nigeria will change. As long as Some people are above the law. They can buy justice. They can do this and do this. Nigeria will remain, it will be going worse. Because people are realizing that if I have money, I can do what I like. I can get what I want and everything like that. So that is it. So look at what Tinubu went to Dubai. What was their important? What they were doing there?
Yeah, Mr. Blackstone, sorry for interjecting. Peter B weighed on it. I think Shetima responded saying that Peter B said not every one of them are civil servants. Okay, now if they are wrong, I mean, if Peter B is wrong, Shetima should have listed the name of everyone that went on that trip and what is the connection to them with a COP, I think it's about environmental, whatever it is, if I am correct. Nigeria, let's be realistic. I mean, Nigerian context. Our own environment, that small environment that we are living at the very moment, even this regular Saturday environmental sanitation that has been carried out since time memorial. Yeah. I remember when I was young, they started that monthly environmental sanitation. It does not change anything because of our indisciplined attitude. And you are taking 1,411 people to one COP. And honestly speaking, some people are saying we should not. It weighed in right in that, but we're not. That is part of accountability.
Actually, they brought out the list of the people who are the government employees or who are so responsible for them, who are, maybe have a connection with those things to do with the environment. They brought the number of the people who were in that entourage. The other ones were just like NGO friends and everything, you know. So that is, but at the end of the day, why do we have that such a number when Nigeria is bleeding?
When Nigeria is bleeding, how do they pay the fare? Who pay for the fare? Who pay for it?
So in that case, maybe they used about 2 or 3 Nigerian private jets to
who paid for it? Where did the money come from?
Who paid for it? The money they borrowed from other countries.
So you borrow money to take people to COP2 for what purpose?
So that is
one bag of rice is almost 70,000 naira in Nigeria. When there is no functional electricity, 24 hours electricity. And we say, yes, we need, you see, we know the problem. But we also need a leader who is going to solve this problem. And if Peter B has presented himself, and I hope he's listening and his own followers is listening, he's not condemning him, he's gingering him up. It's called there's a word, it's called chastisement. Chastisement is not criticizing or condemning anyone. It's to ginger him up. It's for us indeed.
Look, my brother, all these politicians, they're all the same. Look, you think you
so
just think
I forgot that you are there. My apologies.
Yeah.
I didn't say
no problem. You see, when we talk about change or hold anybody accountability or anybody accountable, all these politicians, one thing that scared them, all of them. You see, they can be these are, but one thing they believe on, they need to maintain to be in that power. One thing that scared them is when a military man take over. Look, let me just tell you something. 1982, when Buhari came in 1983 with the Diagbon, UPN, NPN, both of these politicians were all languishing in jail. I know some politicians who lost their sight in Oko prison or some of these dark room prisons. You understand me? Look, these politicians, they're all the same. Peter B is even scared of coup. Look, what do you have to understand? The federal government is even, to normal citizens, is far away. The real problem we have as people who are governing us is the state government, is the state governors. The state governors are supposed to maintain the 32 states or the 36 states of the country. But these state governors are far more corrupt. Because look, every citizen, every state you're from, you have your own governor. And these governors, they're not doing nothing. The money is being disbursed to them, but what are they doing with this money? Nothing. But you see, sometimes it's easy to blame the federal government. The federal government handle the army and the other ones. But the ones that concern to us as citizens are the state governors. Have you ever seen when these governors are feeding themselves with billions, with billions of naira to feed people for, they call it for refreshment? Look, in a year, are you going to eat elephant? Are you going to eat what? What are you drinking? These governors are the problem of Nigeria, not these federal people. These federal people, okay, anyhow, but I don't, let me bring your mind back. Do you still remember 1980 something when the government of then Shehu Shagari could not pay salary for 6 months or 8 months? We're coming there now. Sooner or later, by next year to next year, the Nigerian government will fail to pay salary to their workers because the money is not there. If you keep on borrowing, not just the federal government is borrowing, the state governors are also borrowing also the same time. You understand? How are you going to pay this money back? How are you going to service this money back? How are you going to pay people's salary? Nigeria is the nation that doesn't produce nothing. We produce nothing. We only import. What are we producing? Even the oil we're talking about, what do we have in the oil sectors? Look, if you go to Indonesia, if you go to Malaysia is even far more better than us. You understand me? Sooner or later, investors will not be coming to Nigeria. We will just use our money. That's why I say, look, we can use media in Nigeria to promote any governors. To say, oh, he's doing this. The time will come now. Come and pay. Come and start paying people. That what happened in 19. Look, when I said what happened during Shagari time and now is just the same thing. The same thing. They were so eating, enjoy until if you cook and you are not there, somebody will steal your food on top of that fire. If you're cooking, that was 82. I'm telling you, the 82. Nearly the whole state of dead Nigeria. If you're cooking, because food was expensive, inflation was very, very high, people were hungry, no salary for any workers, even the so-called people that were guarding the country.
Mr.
So
Ola,
what happened? That one brought in the other power.
Mr. Ola, let me ask you a question. Yeah, you are telling us about the history of previous rulers and everything. Where did the citizen come into this picture? Because Nigerians, we are fond of blaming governors, president, everything. So, what is our part in governance?
That's what I said. That was said when Obasanjo came to power, right? Obasanjo now realized for him to carry out his program, that's also I'm not blaming Tinubu. When Obasanjo came to what we see now in Nigeria, this just started now. The citizen was being in the way systematically brainwashed, was systematically diminished, just the way they diminished the Nigerian army. First of all, they start introducing things that was a little bit foreign to us. What do? You kill the military. With the military can do, the first of all, Obasanjo fire some of these military that can overthrow him. He fired them up. Then he now corrupt the new ones as shopping mall soldiers. Soldiers that only know how to build shopping malls, big mansions, who still money to buy equipment. Then the next is to introduce private university to Nigeria. That private university diminish the power of the student union government. That after the military, the second most powerful group institution that can hold any government to ransom. You understand me? Then when they succeeded doing that, it now become free for all for everybody. Now the politicians now are not the one enjoying. Then Nigerians now have look when they disarm you, when you be disarmed, you will sing the music of the people that disarm you. They won't come in next. The citizens now start begging, even local government chairman were building mansions. You see a local government chairman driving an expensive Jeep, Padro, at that time. Building mansions will say, Oga, Oga me, Oga, Babake, Oga. The governors now become like emperors, even start buying private jet to travel.
All right, okay, Mr. Ola, that's where I come in.
Gentlemen, I need to answer this question. This is what we're talking about, which is very important. Someone just posed a question there. Electricity. Did Goodluck Jonathan hold Buhari government accountable? The answer to that question is no. And that is what we are trying. Hold on one second, Mr. That is what we're trying to achieve. A leader.
No, my question is Buhari and Jonathan, who rule first?
I think Jonathan ruled first. That's true. Good Lord, Jonathan. No, Jonathan was there. Thank you for drawing that to my attention. Jonathan was there before. No. Let's look at this way. Buhari was a military president before Goodluck Jonathan. Maybe that's what he's trying. Let's give him a benefit of that. Maybe that's what he's trying to say. But either way, neither of them held each other accountable. Buhari, Goodluck did not hold Jonathan accountable. Jonathan did not, and that is what we are trying to say. Why the focus is on Peter Gregory Obi, as most people think that I am against him, I want to put him in trouble. He probably may not be the one that even will be president in 2027. It could be Mr. Blackstone. The same rule will also apply to Mr. Blackstone or whoever be the president. Somebody who can hold others accountable. So it should not be taken personally as some are taking it personally. It could be me be there tomorrow. The message is for everyone. It's not just the presidency. I've said it over time and over time that until the citizens will rise up and start to invoke Section 68 and Section 110 of the Constitution, we're going to be dancing around that same bush all over again.
Let me contribute to.
Go ahead, please.
Talking about Peter Obi. What we are talking, when we always talk about Peter Obi, we are preparing him to get his mind prepared in case if he's able to come to power in 2027. He should be able to know what the people are talking about, what the people need, what the citizens need, what he should do. We are not criticizing him. We are not blaming him. We are trying to tell you, once you get there, this is some of the things you have to do. Because he himself might be thinking, my policies, my thinking is always right? But have you ever listened to other people's thinking? Have you ever listened to other people's suggestion? Because you maybe the people around him might be telling him what he wants to hear, right? What about those who are not in that circle? So what we are doing here is that these are the issues you have to bear in mind. In case you get there, these are the things you have to do for you to have a successful growing and a nation that will be ruled under the rule of law. You understand me? Just like giving an idea, we are putting an idea to him. These are the things that pains us. These are the policies we have to put in place. These are the things we are doing. We are not trying to bring him down or try to blame him for anything. No, these are just things that he should know that the citizens are concerned about. That's the way I say. Let people think in that way. You understand me? So, like you said, we are just chastising him, letting him know that these are what are the things that some of the citizens are concerned about. What are you going to do in all these things?
Mr. Blaston, if you look at the comment on the screen there, now I'm going to Google it, I'll find out. Let's just argue that this comment is true, that was made by Peter Obi. He has said times without numbers that as a trader, if a thief steals his goods from his shop, that is not in the business of pursuing thieves, rather look after his shop. If this is correct, then it calls a lot of things into question. Calls him into questioning. And let me highlight what Mr. Blackstone just said. He said, like, until we start to keep an open mind, Nigerians, until we start to keep an open mind and stop being this, if I cannot take criticisms. I'm looking at the comment section here. Some people are saying different. Previously, when I started, upset, it gets, but I have developed this skin and to understand that people are going to hear their views. If you come to the public arena, be ready to take anything that is thrown at you.
Yeah.
And so, but we must keep an open mind and be objective. And if we can talk about Tinubu, the president, who else can we not talk about? I don't get Nigerians. If we can talk about Atiku, who else can we not talk about? It was so bad that Tinubu said he does not visit social media during the campaign because he had so much insult that he doesn't visit social media again. So why can we not call out our own or help our own, not even call out, help our own to improve? I'm not in a circle. I'm not against him. And I don't think this channel, according to the owner, is a platform for people to come and showcase their talent. So let everybody showcase their talent. As long as we are not using derogatory words, we are not condemning anybody, but we're talking in an objective manner that the country may be better. Because I had a friend who visited UK some time ago, some years back, and we drove on the M6, and I asked him, "Did you see the roads?" He said, "Yes." "Are the roads made of gold?" He said, "No." "Did you feel pothole once in a while when he said, "Yes." I said, "So you can see that it's no different. They don't have two heads. They have just one head like us. They fix potholes as soon as possible. The roads are not tied of gold. It's not heaven where they say the roads are made of gold. Can we not achieve this? Can we not achieve this? Yes, we can." So anyone can take it any way you want to take it. But my counsel is, let us keep let's have an open mind and let's be objective. People talk about Biden, people talk about Donald Trump, people talk about Hillary Clinton, people talk about Boris Johnson, even the present Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. Some people say this, some people say he has lost the plot. Some people they said a lot of things.
Yeah, let me put it like this.
Go ahead, Mr. Blackstone.
I said that love has to issues, right? I think most people that are saying that supporting Peter Obi, they love him, but don't love him to spoil him. Love him to correct him. That's how I put it, right? I like Peter Obi very much, you understand me? But I will not close my eye to some of the issues that was on the ground, which is not addressing very well. I will bring it out. That is love. You understand me? So let not use that, we are talking about Peter Obi become a problem. No, it's not a problem. We are trying to create a smooth pathway for him to understand the situation and how to handle things, what Nigeria does. I believe for me that we can change, Nigeria can be changed within 4 years if you know what you want to do. And it can only be done by hard men, not by soft-minded people. A person that can say, if my father stole the country's money, I can jail him or I can kill him, or my brother, my family, or anybody. That's that people who can change a nation. Not that people say it is my person, it's my friend, it's my family member. Then you try to sneak away to don't apply the law accordingly. You know, so every country today that you see that are standard are progressing, the law is the first thing. Law is supreme, it's first thing, right? And the people that started this transformation in those countries were people who do not give priority to a class of people. They believe that everybody is equal according to the law. And whatever you do, you have to face the consequence of the law, no matter who you are. President, past president, lawyers, nobody who can be a billionaire. I can say today that in Nigeria, most of these big companies are not even paying their taxes. They're having waivers. But the smaller ones, the SMEs, they are bleeding them. They are drawing their blood from, by using different type of taxes. But the major companies are not paying. So what is it? Are they not putting under the same laws? So we need a die-hard man who can sit in that throne, in that office, and put laws into work without fear of favor. That's what can change Nigeria. That's a person who can change Nigeria, not a cool-minded person, right? Or like that last comment said, if somebody comes to see, I will be going. Obi made that statement during this campaign, right? So that was it. So he can be pursuing those that steal, but you have to protect the shop. No matter how long you protect your shop, one day a thief can still break into it. So, well, like I said, if you live there, what happens? Right. So we have to be able to put our institution right. The so-called pen secretary, permanent secretary, and everything. All these people have to be disciplined. Right. They have to face the law. Once anything, if there was any allegation against you, let them be investigated. And when they are found guilty, let them go to jail for it. When you use 2, 3, 4 people as an example, in fact, I will even prefer to introduce firing squad. Let people see it. That yes, because it is hard things that change people's perception of things. We are mute.
Thank you, Mr. Blackstone. Thank you. Chi said all politicians are not the same. Stop generalizing. I don't think we have generalized all politicians. If so, maybe you just join us, or maybe you're taking it a different way. We're not generalizing all politicians. We acknowledge Peter Obi's personal achievement. Personal achievement, but we are saying, can he hold anyone accountable based on his comment? Can he prosecute? Can he send anyone to the public prosecutor for them to be prosecuted? His government, what will his government do? Like Mr. Blackstone said, we're gearing him up, and it's up to him to take up the challenge. And if he doesn't want to take up the challenge, then it's entirely up to him. But we will see. He announced to be what? Going forward, I am now the Labour Party and the Obedient Movement, and now what? The opposition party. So he ain't going to keep quiet. But I'll say this. If he cannot call out his own, allegedly, the Labour Party senators, legislators that are there, contributed money. Even if it's their personal money, that is beside the point. Contributed money towards Akpabio's birthday party, allegedly. They accepted the token, the prayer that was sent to them by Akpabio. How can such people now stand on moral ground to say they are now the opposition party? Come on, are we kidding ourselves? Let's keep it real. And I would like to keep it real. What's your name? AGK Onyemachi, I'm off here. Let me wait for the mature minds tomorrow. Thank you very much. I also thank your participation. Please do wait for them. They will be there tomorrow. For those of you who have minds like me that are here, I would like to thank every one of you as we continue this chat. I love comedy section, like I said, and I like the one that will make us laugh. Sorry, dear parent, the problem is at every level: state, FG, court, and society. Corruption, indiscipline, rascalding, lack of plan and vision. That's from Guy Owanlele. Sorry if I'm not pronouncing your name very well. Who is this again? Who am I? I'm out of here. No sensible argument. Can you propose an argument that you want us to argue, to discuss on? Let me be fair. Where is this? Uwa Matthew? Uwa Matthew and something like. Can you propose a discussion? This is an open platform.
Let them come up. Let them come up now. Let them
come up on the come on, join the show. Don't hide behind the screen. Don't hide behind the screen and join the show and bring up your argument. That is, bring up your discussion, your argument. I mean, if this argument, like you said, is not sensible argument because we are speaking about your principle, is not a sensible argument of accountability, then I don't know which argument will be considered sensible again. Is it Tinubu's argument or Obasanjo's argument that blame the Western world for our failures, for the problem? Is it Tinubu that said let the poor breathe, and yet is that the argument you want to be talking about? Come on the platform, come bring your argument, then we'll talk about it. That's what it's all about. Disagreement is welcome on board. Somebody disagreed. I highlighted everybody, did not state why he disagreed. So disagreement is welcome. Come on board, come on the platform. Don't hide behind the screen. Anybody can hide behind the screen and type. I can hide behind the screen and type. Join the show. It's a free-for-all show. It doesn't cost you anything. Nobody in existence is more tribalistic than most Yoruba. At this point, I prefer to live a country without a single Yoruba. My God help you. Somebody said electricity. You are lying. Lying up. Oh, Madi Peace. Oh, no, I didn't know that you are the one. Sir. You are welcome anyway. Madi Peace, my friend. I doubt if PO will be interested in 2027. He's a man that is completely in control of his ambition. He will promote rule of law, but he's not going to run. You all will be surprised. Okay? That's good. Let him remain where he is. And as the comment about PO is right, he said it in response to whether he will probe previous government or not. Thank you very much for that, Yemi Adekanola. Thank you for that. Take more comments. Sorry for the delay. Alfred Jackson, because you only see the Yoruba you want. I see Yorubas who are fighting for Nigerian people and against the policy. Elders in Yoruba land, plus Dele and Co. Mayegun, thank you for that. Who is this? Okay, now I'm going to skip my piece. Okay, my error. We have a president now. Why are you talking of someone that is not in government? Are you people okay at all? The election is over. We have a president. Your discussion is not making any sense at all. Now, Chi, we have a president. Agreed. Without a shadow of doubt. What do you want us to talk about this government that has not been spoken about? I am planning, I recognize the government. And from here, if you have listened to me over time, to the extent that even the chief executive of this channel, Dr. Professor Rudolph Okonkwo, everybody have named me as Section 68 and Section 110 of the Constitution. If I don't mention it, somebody will say, we'll still mention Section 68 and Section 110. That is what the citizens need to do prior to 2027 and after 2027. So that is us citizens to do, because our legislators or your legislators are the greatest threat to democracy, not the judiciary, as is implied by some quarters. Yes, the judiciary have their role to play, but the lawmakers, they sign off everything. They make the laws. But the citizens has failed to put them on the checks and balance. So we can talk about that. We've spoken about that. What do you want to speak about this government? Tell me, Chi. Tell me, just bring it up and I'm going to highlight it. If you can, please, I would greatly appreciate that. Like I said, if we are not making any sense at all, then make us to make sense. Kick some sense into us so that we will make sense. But if you can't kick sense into us, then equally, you're not making sense at all. With due respect. I want you to kick some sense into me. Let me hear you loud and clear. If this discussion is not making sense, a leader that can hold others accountable. If it's not making sense to you, then we need to check you, because accountability, holding people accountable, is the order of the day. It's happening everywhere where we all are jackparing to or running to. Even citizens hold each other accountable. At workplace, it's not a perfect system, but they make the system work. And that is by holding each other accountable. So, tell me, bring sense into my head.
Let me ask
Bring sense into the discussion. That would be greatly appreciated. Mr. Blackstone, the floor is yours.
Let me ask a question. You just made a statement that everybody where they are jackpotting to, right? The question is this: why is it that when Nigerians move out of Nigeria and go to a different Western country, their mentality automatically change? Without even being told what to do, they begin to fall in line with the system. Why? What triggered that change?
Okay, Mr. Blackstone, sorry, I was reading some comment. Come again with your question.
Okay, I said that why is it that when Nigerians travel to other countries, to maybe to the Western world, to Canada, America, Europe, and everything, right? And without being told, right, they begin to change, to fall in line with the system. What triggered that change? I want to know.
Mr. Blackstone, you see, I don't know how to answer that question, but it is a good question. What triggers the change? Because we know that there is consequences for what? For breaking the law.
There is
consequences. Consequences, so things you do way back maybe 10 years ago. As soon as it comes to the attention of the authority, they're going to write you. They will not sweep it under the carpet. Now, you can plead your case. You can be exonerated at the end of the day after all the inquiry and everything, because there is consequences.
So why is Nigeria behaving the way they behave in Nigeria? Because there are no consequences for breaking the law. So that is it. So
even going against traffic lights when it's red.
And you
will not be surprised. Those on the comment section making this comment, they are in abroad. Yes. Some of them are not in Nigeria. And we take it for a joke. We take Nigeria as a project. It's not a project because people are suffering.
No,
they said it's all politics. At whose expense? So the drone that killed 85 people is all politics, isn't it? Because lives don't matter anymore. You can replace your car, you can replace your house, but you can't replace a life. Life is gone, it's gone. People are dying. People cannot afford even the basic things, even to pay for hospital. So I want them to say something. Come and kick sense into us. It's an open platform. Disagreement is welcome. Disagreement is welcome. If disagreement is not welcome, then the platform has become a dictatorship platform, which is not the case. You come and argue, present your argument. If you think you have a better topic, suggest it. We'll look at it. We'll discuss it. That's why we are here. That is why we are here. Someone asked a question on from Facebook. Are you comfortable with Nigeria becoming Islamic State, Or do you want Biafra freedom? I don't know what that means, to be honest. So you need to clarify yourself. Fred Jackson, what did you say? You will end up where you started. If the path you follow led you to this point in Nigeria, what use is the path? Okay. Yemi Adekon, is there legality in the unbecoming attitude of governors sacking local government tie and appropriating the revenue allocation? John Abbas governor is the latest. Handpick John Abbas governor. That's what's his name? Is it Yahya Bello?
No. Bauchi State.
Bauchi State. What's the name of the governor?
Reverend something, I think so. No, sorry, Benue State Reverend.
The question is there legality in the unbecoming attitude of governors sacking local government? No, I think this matter has been discussed before. The way the governors goes about, the way they treat local government. Local government should have their own power, should be allowed to operate because that is the grassroots. There's no legality in it.
It's funny to John Abba, John Abba for the damage show. The damage show.
Oh, okay.
That is
okay,
so
John Abba's governor is the latest. Oh, okay. I get it. John Abba. Oh, okay. I remember John. Okay, I know John Abba. No, but you see, the people have to challenge.
That's where the power to come in.
The people, you see, this is where we keep saying the failure of the citizens. As long as the citizens continue to fail and to continue not to perform their duty, these issues will continue. That's just the truth, whether we want to accept it or not. Mr. Ivory, why did electricity skip my comment? I don't. Let me see. Where is your comment? That must be by error, or can you please repost your comment? Let me take a read at it. I know I skipped Madipi's comment. He knows that, so we know each other. So, Ivory, I cannot find your comment here. If you don't mind, in the spirit of fairness, can you please repost your comment or tell me the time you posted it? Then I can go back to it, please.
Okay, let me bring on that topic. The issue of Ondo State, I think Ondo State is the state governor who is now in Abuja, Akenduru, something like that, right? So my question is this: is it not constitutional that if the governor cannot more perform his duty as a governor, he has to transfer power to his deputy, right?
Okay, that's a very good question you're asking me.
So why? Okay, look at this situation in I think also Ondo State, right? So why as the governor, he was former NBA chairman, something like that, right? He was the one that actually criticized General Adua when he was sick. He was the one that brought it up. So why must transfer power to Jonathan, right? But now he is also in the same shoe. Why is he not transferring power to his own deputy?
Okay, so I'm going to answer the question using the Constitution to answer your question. The same rule that applies to the president, anybody applies to the governor. When a governor, a president, there's a consign to his or her health, okay, the lawmakers will have to appoint doctors with his own personal physician to examine that governor, president, or whoever it is. Based on the report, a decision now will be made. Now, he may be sick or maybe healed, does not mean that his mind is not functioning. We have to go by the law. I may be disabled. I may be involved in an accident. Does it affect my mind? Can I still perform my capacity? My decision capacity, is it affected? Look at Joe Biden. How old is he? Sometimes it appears that he is confused. He's been raised, but there was a time concern was raised about Donald Trump, his mental state. He has to do what? Medical checkup. That's the rule of law. That's the rule. That's the constitution. People are concerned about Tinubu's health. Or they use it to sing.
Let's see. Hold on first. Hold on first. In this situation, right, he was in Germany for almost 6 months for treatment, right?
Okay.
When they saw that it was going to go beyond the constitutional specified time limit, he has to fly back, right? But now he's not even in the state capital. It's now he's living in Ibadan, right? From there, according to the situation and everything, it's almost like not able to perform any government duty, right? And I had been out of the state for more than almost 6 months and everything, right? Okay. So what I'm trying to say that they have been interviewing the cabinet, so people that are around the political party. You know, if you can go back to last week, that Tinubu even interfere in the whole thing and made the deputy governor to sign a peace accord that he will abide, but not necessarily say PC, that they will abide. So not abide to the constitution, but you abide to what the party agrees.
Okay.
You understand me?
Mr. Blackstone, we will come back to what I've always been saying. Regardless of whether we talk about any other person or whatever it is, for that to happen, it is the failure of the citizens in that state and the failure of the legislators in that state. That is why that is happening. First, failure of the citizens in that state. Just the same way the failure of the general failures of us in the country, either in Nigeria or not. Because when the citizens fail to do the necessary checks and balance on the legislators, who is the president that will come and tell the legislators something that is contrary to the constitution? That is the corruption we are talking about. That is not being able to hold anyone accountable. This problem is an easy problem. Look at the governor of New York. Is it New York? What's his name? Chris Cuomo. That was that he had to resign due to that stuff.
Yeah.
His own brother that was CNN. It affected him. He also left CNN. That is what we're saying. Are we different? The answer is no. What is our problem? Blame game. Or let's leave it for God. Is that God has ordained it that way? He is the one God has ordained. The prophet have spoken. Let's leave it for God. That is the problem.
One thing I can also say as part of the problem, you know, this so-called the local government chairman election, they do local government election in the states. It is a very sham election process. Because you can't expect that only the government party will win all the local government. They win the House of Assembly. All of them will be from the House of Assembly. All the members of the House of Assembly will be almost from one party. Also, on that ground, nobody is going to stand up and go against what the governor is doing. That means that even within the state, there's no democracy. There's no democratic process within the state. So the party that owns the state owns the House of Assembly and owns everybody. And so whatever the governor is doing, they will definitely support him. Right? So this is where the failure of democracy starts in Nigeria.
Look at what is on the screen as we bring the broadcast to an end. When a person sells himself to destroy the best good of others, it becomes necessary to take him from the society he seeks to destroy. This message is for the citizens, all citizens of Nigeria. When a person sells himself to destroy the best good of others, it becomes necessary to take him from the society he seeks to destroy. Until the citizens rise up and start to invoke Section 68 and Section 110 of the Constitution, we will continue to talk. And the problem will continue to increase. As they say, NYSC, now your suffering continues. So until we start to do the right thing, there's hope. There's a possibility that any error can be amended, even in a worst scenario. The former Prime Minister of Republic of Ireland, some people use his name to carry out fraudulent activity. He's challenging Google. He's on the news to release those names. That's an individual. He's a Prime Minister. They get it right. They've tried to fix it. It's a battle. It's going to affect him emotionally and everything, but he will fight it. But what do? We don't want to fight it. We say peace. Of course, I believe in peace. I'm a man of peace. Blessed are the peacemaker, for they shall inherit the kingdom of God. Of course, I believe in peace. But the same God who said, blessed are the peacemaker, for they shall inherit the kingdom of God, also says that let us do the right thing. Let us fight this battle. It's not a battle where we'll carry arms or whatever it is. It's a battle we can win. If we want to, if we set our heart to do it. Your legislators are your problem. Take it to the market any day. I said this 7 years ago, and I'm repeating it again. And I will ever repeat it again. Regardless of what topic we discuss, regardless of whatever we disagree on. Your legislator, they sign off everything. The budget you are talking about, Mr. Blackstone, who signed it off?
The House of Assembly, the legislators.
The money that was used for the wives of the president, who signed it off?
The legislator.
The money that was used for 1,411 people, who signed it off?
They are the ones. The money for build a new house.
For the Jeep, who signed it off?
The money to build a new house for the vice president.
The money to build a new house for the vice president, who signed it off?
And the money to renovate the present one.
Who signed it off? Come on, let's keep it real. Who signed it off? Is it me? Is it Tinubu that signed it off? It's not Tinubu that signed it off. Oh. He only presented it to Akpabio and his group of companies. He didn't sign it off. He did not sign it off. Take this to the market. Greatest threat to democracy are what? Are the legislators. You don't have to agree with me on that, respectfully. But that is the truth. The whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help us God. I got 3 comments here. Let me respect them. Sorry, Ivory. Abba, you know they see my comment. This is your comment. I don't see it. Please forgive me. I missed it. It be like say YouTube don't want to see my. Where is your comment for? I've looked for it. I can't find it. Just repost it, please.
Let me repost the comment.
Please just repost it. I pretend. I can't find your comment. Honestly speaking, electricity Nigeria is under state capture. Once we understand it, we will understand the problem. We understand the problem. Whether it's on state capture or it's on heavily capture.
No. Nigeria is on the state capture. Who captured it? The people. People capture it. So let people, those people that let's all capture the state. We should declare the state now. Let's
okay. I reposted it and I didn't see it. So if you are not seeing it, then I can't see it equally. Somebody, let's say our YouTube is being edited by a third party. I swear. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. Honestly, I didn't see it. If I did see it, I will highlight it. I know comments that I know individuals comment I don't highlight. They know themselves, we know ourselves. Because regardless of anything, we are here to offer constructive criticism, constructive comment, but when certain people have decided to say they will be negative, then we leave them to be negative. They have the right to be on the comment section. It is their right to type. It is my right to highlight if I want to highlight. So where your right ends, my right starts. That is one thing about life. So it's not your right all the way. Anyway, Mr. Blackstone, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining, and for those in the comment section, thank you for joining. I appreciate your comment. Like I said, disagreement is welcome, and as I bring the show to an end. For those who your contribution is acknowledged, it's been highlighted, and thank you for that as well too. There's a broadcast tomorrow as usual. There's another broadcast on Sunday. I always come during the weekend, sometimes weekend. So until I see you again, take good care of yourself, Mr. Blackstone. We shall catch up somehow.
Definitely right. So have a wonderful evening.